Alright boys, welcome back to the Grand Arena. So, it is going to be an RMP, P for Priest, going up against Jungle Cleave. And both teams, I don't know, is there an advantage here?
Is everyone in this game, by the way?
Yeah, the Priest cooldowns isn't loading for me.
I'm going to slash reload.
I just reloaded, it took more cooldowns away from me.
I'm not doing it, I'm pressing it though.
Don't do it. I'm just gonna hope it fixes when the door opens.
I think it will fix when the doors open. Yeah, it gives you one more refresh. So
I don't have the Feral Druid or the Priest, so
yeah. I'm just gonna run it.
Early Pet Nova coming out, the gouge onto Inviable, trying to find a target here. He did sacrifice the Deep Freeze here. They need to get the sack off. They do get it. He's going to land the Fear. That's the early Fear that he needs to get. They need to get the Polymorph out of it as well. He's going for the Poly. It's fortunately not going to land just yet. And he popped the Avenging Rat to heal through the early damage here from the Adrenaline Rush from Nahj. So he's going to be able to keep him top. And now finally into the Poly. Incarnation comes out, but it's not doing anything. He's the one that's in trouble. 30% saved by the Light Procs. Finally, the full trap is landed, but now he goes into the half Kidney. Ore Mastery has to come out to cast here. The Frostjaw is going to get immune because of that Ore Mastery, and Tymillia is still getting pressured now. Polymorph gets locked out. He's going to just answer all these cooldowns with a block. He's still going to have another one in the back of all of this, and I love my cat going for some Cyclones. The Killing Spree coming out, though. Deep Freeze on the Law, taking him to 50%. Law should be able to top him out of it, but now into the full Fear. They need to stop this Poly.
Yeah, hopefully they can. Law is out of that CC, finally able to get some heals out. The Smoke Bomb comes out from Nahj on I Love My Cat. Law actually having to bubble that Polymorph. Finally going to be able to top off I Love My Cat. Gekz actually trinkets that trap from Inviable, trying to keep Tymillia offensive as possible. But now Law has no bubble and no trinket, and Gekz has no trinket. So Law finally caught into that full blind. The kidney shot comes out on the I Love My Cat, and this could just be the end. The wall comes out. It's about to fade. We'll see if Tymillia has some damage for that. The full sheep comes out onto Law. I Love My Cat down to around 20%. I don't know how he's surviving right now. Saved by the Light comes out. Law into another sheep. He's just sitting in that bear form, tanking a lot of damage. And Law still in CC with the Deep Freeze into Frostjaw, still at 50%, isn't dead, and finally goes down. Ooh. Nahj, not completely safe, but he is going to get topped off by Gekz there. But wow.
Oh, wait! He's actually dead! He is actually dead right now. Okay, I need a minute here, please. Can I? Yeah, he's actually dead right now. That is a huge throw, I think.
Yeah, I actually can't believe that just happened. But I think this is one of those situations, if I had to guess, it's going to be really hopeless for Tymillia and Gekz.
It's interesting. I had a 2v2 the other day from an RMD it came down to a 2v2, and Mage Druid actually wasn't too bad. It had a lot of CC, and actually Gekz is going for a res. They're going to stop it. Not letting any cheeky reses getting off. Inviable could go down. Deep Freeze on the Law. No way out of it. 30%. They need more CC. Gekz is trying to get the Poly. Goes in for the Silence. Lands the full Fear, but it's overlapped. Doesn't matter, though. Inviable has 2 deterrences. He's trying to save it. Saved by the Light's going to proc. He's line of sighting really well here, but even though you thought maybe the Mage Priest might be hopeless here, but they have a lot of CC. So if they can chain this up over and over and over, I see them being able to win. Even Penance is coming in offensive. Full Trap's going to land, but Tymillia is just not taking any damage.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. I might have a skewed opinion of this matchup. Gekz going into the Hodge, the Pain Step coming out onto Tymillia right now, so he's not going to be taking too much damage, but Law's just trying to avoid as much CC as possible. Inviable still has double deter left. The Deep Freeze comes in onto Law. The Sheep, it's going to be short because of that freedom. Well done by Law putting that up on himself. And Inviable still taking a lot of damage. Another Sheep comes out onto Law, and he's going to get feared out of this. Gekz just standing on top of him. Fear does come out. Did he get knocked away?
Oh, I think he did get knocked away. He threw the Silence out, but unfortunately it's not going to sit for very long. But Inviable might go down anyway. The Ore Mastery comes out to try and negate the CS. Offensive Penance is coming in. The only way I really see Gekz losing at this point is if he runs out of mana. I feel like Tymillia is safe with the amount of cooldowns he has, and there's the full Poly landed. They're trying to pressure Inviable right now. He's going to try his best to line of sight back here. I'm not too sure if he is playing Spirit Bond or Ironhawk. I'm actually just going to take a second and look to make sure. I think if he's playing Spirit Bond, they might be able to win, but I think he's playing... Yeah, he's playing Ironhawk, so he doesn't have that heal. And that's why he's taking so much damage every time the Mage gets CC. He has to line of sight the orb right now. Tymillia rebuffing right now, goes into the Frostjaw. Inviable feign deathing, trying to fake his own death here at 50%. But Gekz needs to get a Fear chained out of the Polymorphs here, or Law's just going to have an easy time healing him, and his mana is still kind of hurting. He's going for the Spectral guys. He's actually trying to run away from the trap, I believe. Binding Shot's going to trigger. He blinks out. There's the full Fist of Justice. They're trying to land the full trap out of it. Trank Shot's being spammed out here. Gekz does get full trap Tymillia, not able to get to it. He's going to trinket it and pop the Power Infusion to top Tymillia and go for the Polymorphs to pressure Inviable. He still does have 2 deterrences, but I think not having Spirit Bond is going to be what kills him. Full Fear onto Law. No way out. Saved by the Light's going to proc. Shadow Fiend even out from Gekz. He's going to be throwing the offensive penance. Frost Shot comes out now. A little bit more CC, and that's going to be it for Inviable. Into the Silence, 15% and 18%. He still has the deterrences. He's just not using them. Doesn't want to. Being so greedy. Deterrence at 15%, but I don't know what Law can do other than try and stall it out for Gekz to go
Yeah, and Law is actually now put into a full sheep on those wings. Inviable does not have Saved by the Light up. So you might have to use that second deter there. Gets put into that deep freeze. He does have Trinket Deter available. Does pop that. Deterrence out of the deep freeze. Law still not out of CC. Into the Fear. The Frost Shot is going to come out from Tymillia, and Inviable will just die. Or he's not dead. It was a feigned death, trick me. And he does get catches a huge heal from Law. Up to around 100% HP now. I actually thought he died. That was a good feign death, even tricking me.
The Crow's coming out. Hodge and the Gekz, they need the trap, though. They're not getting it. Denounce is coming in. Law wants to kill Tymillia now, but he still has 2 blocks and Cold Snap and Amplify Magic. I don't see Tymillia dying outside a random global, which is pretty unlikely, as Inviable's running for his life almost the entire time. Throwing the Explosive Trap out as well to try and knock people back into the last poly. Gekz maybe trying to go for a Fear out of this. He's going to land the full Fear. They're trying to push it on Inviable, but he's hiding the best that he can. Comet Storm coming in. Ice Nova connects. They need a Deep Freeze maybe, but he's out of deterrences. They don't even need to deep him. They could deep Law at this point and just do damage to kill him. I'm not sure if Tymillia still has the Water Elemental. Inviable hasn't taken the time to kill that, so Tymillia still has that advantage. Deep Freeze now onto Law, going for the Poly. He didn't fake the counter shot, but he's going to get the Frost Draw, giving him more time to get a Fear possibly here and then a Poly. Just going to get the Poly with no freedom on it, so you might have to bubble this as there are no deterrences available, but it's really looking hopeless.
Yeah, and Gekz actually went and sat down for a drink there, and Inviable down to around 25%. Law having to bubble that Fear, patiently waits for the Fear, bubbles it. The Hodge comes out onto Gekz, and Tymillia forced into that block right now. If you look at the cooldowns, Inviable and Lost both still have their trinkets. Actually, I'm not sure about Gekz. Does he have his trinket? My UI is bugged out.
Can't see it, so...
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he has his trinket. The next time he gets Hodge trapped, it could be trouble. I mean, Tymillia has 1 block left. Cold Snap's going to be up in 3 minutes, so if they can maybe force that block, I don't know. Dampening's at around 13% right now. Inviable going to trinket that deep freeze. There's going to be no follow-up CC on Law, but they did get the trinket out of the way on Inviable. And yeah, here comes the Hodge onto Gekz. Tymillia just standing on top of him, making it a nightmare to get that trap, and he does eat the trap from Inviable. So no CC going to be coming out onto Gekz, and they're going to try their best to force Law into the deep sheep Fear and burst down Inviable as fast as they can.
Yeah, Spectral Guys comes out. He's already on top of Law right now to land the full Fear. So if he trinkets any of this, Deep Freeze, no trinket. Law needs to consider trinketing here. He's going to get put into the half poly now. It's a desperation mode because if he trinkets, he eats a full Fear. There's a full Fear. Going to trinket it possibly into a Silence, but he Aura Masteries before it. Luckily, Gekz not throwing the Silence into that. Into the Fist of Justice now, trying to land the trap. The Crows are coming out, though. Tymillia getting pressured. He needs this trap, though, to be able to finish Tymillia, and he's just not throwing it off. He doesn't feel comfortable trapping underneath the Water Elemental, and Tymillia just standing right on top of him, even spamming Polymorphs onto Inviable to give Gekz the time he needs. And the drink that you said earlier is what's paying off for Gekz right now. He still has 1 more block. And that is the full Deep Freeze onto Law, going for the Poly. The Poly's going to land. He didn't manage to pre-freedom it, so it's going to be a full duration Poly, no way out. Inviable with no trinket as well. They need a little bit more CC into the half Poly, but he sacked it before the Poly came out. Now into the Silence. Gekz desperately chasing, but he got Concussive Shot. He's not able to keep up to get the Fear. He's going to wait for it to fade and then go for it with another Feather. But Inviable might just go down here if this Fear lands. There's the full Fear, 30%. He's going to get that deterrence off, luckily, at 22%. Dampening stacking higher and higher, though. Frostjaw onto Law. Full Poly. No way out. No deterrences. No trinket. Deep Freeze comes in. Saved by the Light is shredded. Shadow Word Pain coming out. Offensive penances and smites coming in as well, but he somehow lived. The Fist of Justice now. The Crow's coming out. He's trying to pressure a pre-pain suppression at full health here to try and save an Ice Block. And Inviable not going down when I expected, trying to turn it around with the Barrage.
Yeah, and Inviable is going to have his trinket up here shortly too. Tymillia taking the brunt of the damage. Frost Shot coming out onto Law. Inviable still at a lot of damage. It's still taking a lot of damage. He's in the middle of the map right now. Law caught into that full Fear. The Deep Freeze comes out onto Inviable. He is going to trinket that immediately to try to stop any follow-up CC on Law. I think he did interrupt the poly, so well done by him. But that's his trinket. I mean, Law does have his trinket coming up, but Inviable is just dead. That was crazy. Yeah, that's not.
He tried to fake us out again.
Huh.
Wow. So we're at 28% dampening there, as you can imagine. You want a healer DPS versus healer DPS, but I thought that the hunter healer had an advantage, but I guess
he didn't have Spirit Bond. That's 100% what makes the difference. Because the whole time he's line of sighting at 60% health, he's not healing. If he had Spirit Bond lining back there, he'd be full health every time the mage goes for CC, and then the mage never gets any pressure because he runs out of damage. But because he went Iron Hawk because it's RMD and expected to get bursted, it backfired in the 2v2.
It's better in the 3. Yeah, you don't expect it. It's really strange too to see that these. I mean, how often on live do you see 2v2s? And for some reason, every time there's a tournament, I don't know what happens, but it just seems like there's just so often it goes into a 2v2. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So the very first map of that best of 3 series is actually going to go to the RMP, excuse me. Can't get that wrong.
Nahj is going to be a little bit less reckless at the end of the game, though. You imagine it's like you get the kill. Yeah, good job, team. Wait, I'm dead!
I actually thought he was going to live, too. He got low. Got, like, topped off. I don't even know what happened.
Murder of crows, man. Murder of crows. It kills everyone.
Oh, my
Nobody
goodness.
can escape the crows. I can't copy Dillypoo's cacaw, though. He does a very authentic cacaw.
Cacaw?
Yeah, the crow noise. I don't know.
Goodness.
I could try and impersonate it, but I would embarrass myself.
I don't even know what it sounds like.
You don't know what a crow sounds like?
I know what a crow sounds like, but what is
like yeah, like a caw!
That sounds pretty good. I mean, like, the actual... Alright, man. The next map is going to be Ruins of Hunteron. Gonna queue right up. Press the Q button! Oh, please! Hello? I'm gonna press the Q button again, man. It looks like one team isn't accepting the queue for whatever reason. Not sure, maybe they're talking about strats and whatnot. I'm gonna give them a few more minutes here. And so, this is just a best of 3, so one more win for this RMP, and it's gonna knock Rest in Peace Twitch chat to the losers bracket, which will be competing tomorrow, or actually next week, excuse me. So the next map of this best of 3 chosen by Rest in Peace Twitch chat is going to be Ruins of Orderon. See you guys in there. Alright, everybody, welcome to Ruins of Orderon. It is RMP versus Jungle Cleave. But this is a smaller map. Do you think this is going to give a significant advantage to the Jungle Cleave, or what do you think is going to happen here?
I think the Priest is actually a lot less scary to have on your team against Jungle Cleave. I don't know why. It's just because the potential to go Gekz doesn't exist for some reason. Or maybe it's not experimented enough because nobody really plays RMP a lot. But it feels like Gekz is actually a little bit more safer than bringing a Resto Druid.
Yeah, in this map, it's going to be even easier for Gekz to get fears on the law. You know, running in after the polymorphs. Such a small map. He's going to have an easy time. And he's just going to he's just going to run in and get a fear instantly. And Law just starts the game in a fear. Inviable, the orb coming out from Tymillia, he's caught in that kidney shot. The full sheep coming out onto Law, and Inviable's probably going to have to use his first deterrence here.
Swap.
And the swapping over, I mean, their whole team's
Both
dead.
of
What is
them are
going on?
dead.
I don't even know who they're on right now. But Inviable, at 15% HP, caught into that deterrence. Law finally getting out of CC, popping that the wings. And he does get deeped on his Aura Mastery wings. And Inviable still not out of the woods yet. Law desperately getting out his heals. The sack comes out. But this RMP has had an amazing opener.
Yeah, definitely. That was the killing spree. Nahj popping the evasion and cloak here to try and stay offensive. Tymillia, though, with the crows getting pressured at 30%, has to get the block, going to get it off before the kill shot range comes in. But the full trap is sniped out by Inviable. He's not going to be able to top him out just yet. Finally coming out of CC. Power Infusion Penance is going to connect to Tymillia. Top him off with the Power Word Shield. Full blind. Going to get bopped immediately. Now cheap shots into Inviable, though. Tymillia pushing up. Deep freeze into the full poly. Did pre-freedom it, but the fear onto I Love My Cat. Inviable completely alone. Has the deterrence. Going to answer it here immediately. A clone thrown onto Gekz. to try and counter pressure Tymillia at all. He does have one block remaining. Inviable, though, just near death. And the kidney shot onto I Love My Cat to peel that incarnation. So really well-timed kidney by Nahj, and pops the evasion immediately so he can't get swapped to as well. Wyvern Sting trying to come out by Inviable here, but it's not going out just yet. He's waiting for the DR, I would believe. And Gekz actually shadow meld the Wyvern Sting, so he's going to avoid that completely. Now the Hodge comes out, but the trap should be DR'd from the Wyvern. It's not actually. I don't know where the Wyvern went if it didn't. And Tymillia's getting pressured with the full trap at 50%. The paint sub came out. Smoke bomb's coming down as well to reduce the damage. Inviable into a full poly right now. The RMP just playing peels until that full poly does finally connect onto Law. And I Love My Cat getting swapped to. Has one survival instincts left, but Law uses his bubble to try and heal. He gets MD'd by Gekz. Tymillia getting pressured though. Gekz needs to heal him as well and stay offensive. Both players at 30%. They should be reasonably okay now as the cooldowns fade though.
Yeah, Law actually having to use his Trinket and Bubble there. Tymillia down to 40%. Gekz into the Hodge. Tymillia's probably going to have to end up using a second block. There it is. But in the meantime, I Love My Cat caught into that kidney, and Law's just going to instantly bop that. This is a scary place for Tymillia's team to be in, but at the same time, Law has no more healing cooldowns. He has nothing to get out of any CC, so if they can catch him in a chain and turn it around on Inviable, he has no deterrences either. Both teams running out of cooldowns here. This is a very high-pressure situation. Here comes the kidney shot onto I Love My Cat. Full Fear onto Law. This could be huge trouble for I Love My Cat. Down to around 40%. The full sheep coming out onto Law. He has no ways to break. He's going to be stuck in all this CC. I Love My Cat desperately kiting Gekz caught into the full trap. They're trying to turn it around onto Tymillia here, but Law still not out of CC. The Frostjaw comes in. I Love My Cat having to pop that survival instincts down to around 30%, but it's going to fade in a couple seconds. Law finally able to get a huge heal, and Tymillia is just dead.
They had no block.
That's crazy.
No block.
That was a really close game, man. So this is now 1-1. But what were you gonna say, Ben?
I was gonna say I can't even believe it.
I can't believe he died either. I was watching it. That's why I screamed.
Yeah.
What the heck? So
Was
good thing
the
I have a
rival
replay.
like attack you? Yeah, I guess we'll see in the replay.
Yeah, so I Love My Cat XO. He's taking so much damage, and these guys are running out of defensive cooldowns, and Law is just trapped in so much CC. I Love My Cat, that's the Frostjaw, the Garrote onto I Love My Cat XO. So much damage is falling on top of him, even with Roar Sacrifice and everything. But look at Tymillia, he's dropping down, and he ends up flopping. So there it is. They got out of that CC, they picked up the Feral Druid, and Tymillia's team just ran out of stuff to... I mean, he was out of blocks. There's no pain suppression available. And Gekz wasn't necessarily in CC for the entire time, but you need those big buttons.
Though.
He did penance.
He was like offensive with the Feral in that full kidney. He was penancing him. I don't know if that would have meant life or death, but with how quickly he died, I don't think it would have saved him. But they definitely got through the ice blocks very quickly. So as long as the jungle cleave can get through them, then... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. I was gonna say is Law didn't actually have to. I mean, although that was a really scary opener for them, Law didn't use anything. He didn't use Trinket. He didn't use his bubble. So, I mean, after he sort of recovered, he still had all his cooldowns left to go on throughout the game. He didn't panic. He didn't use everything. He just let his team. I believe all that really happened was Saved by the Light came out onto both of them, and Inviable used one deter through that really scary opener.
Well, he used in the opener.
Yeah.
I was gonna say overall in the game, I don't think Law had anything left at the end.
No, not at the end. I'm just saying the opener. Like
Yeah.
when both his teammates were at like 20%, he still he didn't use anything, so he had them later on in the game.
All right, so the map chosen by this RMP is going to be Tiger's Peak to finish off this best of 3 series. The next win between these two teams is going to determine who's going to advance in the winners bracket and who's going to go and compete in the losers next week. So I'm going to press the go button one more time as we jump into this map, and I'll see you guys in there in just a hot minute. Alright boys, welcome to Tiger's Peak. Is there really a clear advantage in this map? I feel like this is one of those maps where there isn't going to be a significant advantage to either teams, but how do you guys feel?
We just saw it can go both ways, so...
Yeah.
Even on Ruins. Very, very interesting. I'm not getting a lot of... I think...
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I don't think this maps really play too big of a factor in this particular matchup.
Yeah. Do you guys have both? Oh yeah, it was me. The UI was bugged. I'm good now.
Yeah, Gex's cooldowns never work for me at all. Everyone else's now. I blame Gekz.
This UI isn't configured for Disc Priest because
It just broke. What is that? I don't know how to register this.
What is that thing?
Let's see. Gekz repping the Disc Priest though, if they can pull it off here. Early Pet Nova coming out, Blizzard as well, but I love my cat positioned outside of it. Early Kidney, Mark for Death, Double Abyss here soon coming out from Nahj into Inviable, trying to force some sort of CD, but nothing coming out. I would imagine the Roar Sacrifice. He does get cloned. Fist onto Gekz. They need to land the trap. He's coming out of the Kidney just in time to try and snag it. He goes for the Wyvern Sting. That's going to land instead. Crows comes out. He paint suppressions immediately, 60%, but Inviable. Comet Storm comes in, 30%. He might have to deter while he's going offensive. The Avenging Wrath Execution Sentence, Lay on Hands effect. Barrage now connecting onto Tymillia at 60%, but Gekz is no longer in CC. Nice silence onto the Cyclone. Stop that from Gekz as well, using his utility efficiently. The Incarnation coming out from I Love My Cat, but it's not really accomplishing too much just yet. 50% on Tymillia. Smoke Bomb comes down, going to be reducing the damage as well. Deep Freeze comes out, Killing Spree onto Inviable. Deterrences immediately. I like that deterrence.
Yeah, sort of a preemptive deter to stop that Killing Spree damage, but Law caught into the full sheep and Inviable, trying desperately to kite away, and kites to Law, and the Frost Nova breaks the sheep on Law. He does get put into that fear, he's going to trinket that immediately. That was well done by Inviable, getting Tymillia to break his own CC. Tymillia is still taking a good amount of damage. Gekz going to grip him away. Full kidney shot coming out onto Inviable. The Frost Shot comes out onto Law. Inviable sitting around 50% HP. Both Tymillia and Inviable taking a significant amount of damage right now. Law caught into the full sheep. There's no CC out on the Gekz. So Inviable's in a lot of trouble here. The half sheep comes out. Tymillia is getting topped off by Gekz right now. Saved by the Light comes out onto Inviable. Law caught into another fear. It seems like the CC chain is just endless. But at the same time, Tymillia down to 40%. The Wyvern comes out onto Gekz. Inviable having to use that deter, and Tymillia having to use his block. Both teams just having to use so many cooldowns.
Yeah, definitely. Cold Snap even coming out from Tymillia as well. He's going to have that little burst healing later on. The full fist lands along with the Avenging Wrath. Should be able to keep Inviable alive as long as he doesn't get CC'd. Tymillia with the Crows kind of getting global now. In Hypothermia, full clone onto Gekz. This might be it. He's spamming the spell steal to try and stay alive. Throws out a Deep Freeze. Double Fear lands by Gekz though. And he's still in trouble. He gets locked on the Frost Shot. Killing Spree though coming out onto Inviable, taking quite a bit of damage. Law answers that with the bubble, but is it enough? No deterrence is left. 50% Law spamming the Word of Glory. He's trying to keep Inviable alive for that next push. Gekz unable to master spell it until way too late. A defensive clone onto Nahj. Tymillia still getting pressure, but luckily the Hypothermia has faded. He should be alright with that second block now.
Yeah, he's going to have that block available, and another block available in 2 minutes. And Inviable has no trinkets and no deterrences, though. The Law caught into that full Deep Freeze. The full kidney shot comes out onto Inviable. Law caught into the sheep. Inviable down to around 30%, and this could just be the game. He tries to feign death, try to avoid as much damage as possible. Law gets a global off, gets blinded, bops it immediately, trying to get out those heals. But at the same time, Tymillia put into his second block. The DR trap comes out onto Gekz, and Tymillia and Inviable both have no cooldowns left whatsoever.
Yeah,
Inviable's good.
Ooh, still really low. Frostjaw comes out. Unfortunately, the Freedom not breaking the silence effect of that. It's just strange. Now into the full poly. That's probably it. Kidney lands. That's completely it. This is overkill. He trinkets at the last second. And into the half poly he goes, though. 12% disengaged. Trying to run. Fear lands. 5%. No miracle cross kills here. Nahj instantly cheap shots. I love my cat. Not going to be taking Tymillia down to a 2v2 this time around. But Gekz was completely
Yeah,
so if they could have... Yeah, it could have swung. I like this. This is an interesting matchup. Incarn comes out. I love my cat trying to do something. Nahj is like, no, you can't do anything. Kidney shot. You're dead.
I'm a rogue.
You have no fun.
Yeah, I'm a rogue.
All right. So, that is going to be the last match of this series, and Season 8 will advance. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. I'll go show you guys the in-game stuff so you can see the time in CC. 58 seconds on Gekz, and then we also have, but look at the time in CC for this jungle. 43, 43, 34. It's crazy. Alright. Alright guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break as we get the next two teams ready. Like I said before, we're going to do Group D before C. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back. I'll see you guys in just a few minutes.